Oh, look, we're live.
Hello, everybody.
Well, no one's with us yet, but
Oh, that's good. Let me rephrase that. Hey.
hi. Conrad will be joining us momentarily.
Put your pants on, son.
I mean, if we only see him from like the waist up, he doesn't have to wear pants.
Like me last week?
Yeah, it's fine. No big deal.
I didn't care.
I
I really don't.
don't wear pants half the time. Why bother? Pants are overrated.
Okay, guys. So our wonderful friend Rhonda could not join us tonight. She's not feeling well, and we're really hoping that she feels better soon. But she'll be rejoining us as soon as she can, and we'll get her right back on here.
Feel better, Rhonda. We love you.
But if you want to hear or see Rhonda before that, and you're up here in Michigan, go to Paracon.
Michigan, Paracon. Can you believe that's only a month away?
Can you believe it might be the last one?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm kind of bumming about this.
You and me both. If I could
when
hit
we
the
get
lottery,
to see everybody.
if I could hit the lottery, I'd totally take it over.
Oh, me too. Me too. If I didn't have so far to travel. I mean, it's always a possibility, but I would love to do it too.
Right? Oh, I wish.
But on venue opportunities, let us tell you about the weekend. Between the kids and our friends, and I've got one friend down here, Elise, and she is my sister. At one point we kind of thought maybe, but that's another story. But but I did a benefit for her a few years ago.
And 11 years ago.
And obviously she never forgot it, because when we lost our home, her and Toad Payne, they were right here on my doorstep, and it was like, no, you're getting a benefit because you did it for Elise and we're doing it for you guys. And I was like, okay, well, let me tell you. First benefit we had was with Mary and Mark and the Moose and Grayling, and it was beautiful, and they did a beautiful job. And we love everyone there. This one Sunday was gigantic. I don't think any of us expected this, but boy, are we thankful. I mean, so many new friends, so many old friends. I mean, they were coming out in droves, and we loved it. It was a good day. It was a good time. Everyone enjoyed themselves, and that's the best part right there. Everyone enjoyed themselves. The giving was unbelievable. Even the Dan Richards, the radio DJ, he even got back on his radio station that night, and he was like, "This is the best benefit food I have ever tasted."
It was so
and it
good.
really was. We had so many variations. It was awesome.
We had everything.
Oh my gosh.
Smoked chicken and beef and sausages, taco bar, pizza,
Barbecue,
mac and cheese, pasta salads,
Aggie's grandma's recipe for the egg salad or potato salad. Oh my God.
It was fantastic. What's up, bro?
And then the schmelters for saying, "Hey, have it here at Stony Acres." That was the bomb.
Oh,
I mean, oh my
amazing.
God. And on a good note, I'm going to be talking to them next year about having fairs there.
Sweet.
That's exciting.
I brought it up to Phil, and he said it's always a possibility. And I brought it up to his wife, who I love, by the way. And she's like, "That's definitely a possibility." So I'm like, "Yes."
Mm-hmm.
But it was a fantastic time. And, a lot of people there, I was surprised, said they'd never even known the place existed. And it's been there for 15 years.
Not to mention, they throw amazing music festivals every year that have thousands of attendees.
It's called Barn Fest.
Yep.
And it's really grown. I mean, they've put an addition on the barn and everything at this point. And it's so reasonable to get in.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I made sure I brought it all up so I don't mess it up. Well, this year will be... Dun, dun, dun. Hold on. There's a lot of stuff on here. Okay, Friday, September 6th, September 7th and September 8th are the days. And if you want to camp during that time, it's $35. And those fill up fast. And what else do we have on here? It's BYOB, 50-50 raffles. No pets are allowed. No exceptions. No smoking in the barn or pavilion. That's understandable. There'll be food vendors. And there's lots and lots and lots of bands that weekend. It looks like on Friday there's 4 bands. On Saturday there's 2, 4, 6, 7 bands. And Sunday there's 4 more.
Good stuff.
And I know I had the pricing for it, which I can't find right now, of course. But I will find it. All I know is it's very reasonable. And
Do they have a website?
I just recommend everybody go out to it. Okay, the weekend ticket prices are $40 for the entire weekend, or you can get a daily one for $25.
That's pretty good.
Do they have a website?
Yeah.
Do they have a website? What's their website? Yep. So that way, if anybody wants to go check it out, they can.
It is Barnfest at SchmeltersStonyAcres.com. They also have a Facebook.
Awesome.
So, and on Thursday nights, they have open mic night there. And
cool.
And this Thursday, there's a little 12-year-old coming with her band, and she's pretty fantastic. So seriously, guys, go check it out. Chelsea sang Sunday at the benefit. All her old peeps were ecstatic. She even seen people from school.
Yeah, I saw a few. One of them I hadn't seen in probably at least a decade.
Wendy?
Yep.
Oh my God, I love seeing Wendy.
She's such a sweetheart. I want that cup! That cup's amazing! Where's mine?
That's funny.
Did you notice the bottom of it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Making sure.
After I started drinking in it.
Can I use that during work meetings? Do you think they'd care?
Complete ignorance.
Yep, you can be like, oh my God, I never noticed that.
Oh, shit. I thought that was
never do that. He told me I was full of shit.
I thought that was a stamp on the bottom of it.
Yeah, my coworkers know me too well, though. They'd call me out on that so fast.
Yes, they would. They would.
You're full of shit.
You had some coworkers come out Sunday too, didn't you? And I didn't get to meet them.
Yes. So I had my previous coworker who I'm still very good friends with, and then one of my current coworkers come out. So it was really nice.
Awesome. I wish I could have met them, but I was running from one end to the other all day.
Well, you talked to one of them. You talked to Lisa. Yeah, Lisa.
Uh-oh.
So.
Who was it?
Lisa.
Oh, I did talk to Lisa. Or did I?
Yes, you did. You did.
I talked to hundreds of people that day.
I know you did, and it's okay.
I didn't sit down at all that day. Elise and I were ready to die by the time we hit that car.
That was awesome, though. It was a great turnout.
It really was. Todd sounded horrible the next day when he called me. He's like, how are you? I said, I'm wiped out. And he's like, so am I.
You probably didn't have a voice left.
Probably not. He sounded pretty hoarse.
Poor guy.
And they were still announcing it on the radio yesterday.
Aw, that's cool.
They called in to thank everyone for coming, and that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
It was just a great time. I'm so thankful everyone had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
We miss Conrad.
I
Yeah, where
know.
were you?
Well, Jordan was ill, and I kind of got whatever he got.
Next time, text me so I'm not looking for you, okay?
Well, I meant to message you the night before, and then I wasn't, and then I got distracted. My
You forgot.
typical self got distracted, and then
Oh, yeah.
I remembered, and I was like, "Shit!" Like, of course, after I slept for 12 hours straight, and it was like afternoon by the time that I even woke up. So,
Hi, Chris. How are you?
but I missed you guys from bed and the porcelain throne.
Oh, that's the best place to be.
Oh no.
Except in a fifth wheel, it's like you're in a water closet.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I used the bathroom in there on Sunday and I was feeling so claustrophobic. I was like, I can't pee in here. I'd rather pee in the woods.
Well, that's good. You can pee in the woods anytime, then I don't have to dump it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'll even put a 5-gallon bucket out there for you.
That's very sweet. That would be
That
an
way,
upgrade.
at least got somewhere to sit.
That would be an upgrade from the coffee can I used to use. So
better yet, we'll have Dad rig a toilet seat on his hitch and put
that would work. That'd be perfect. Run a rod up with a circle.
I need to make him do that so when he has to go, he's outside.
Ew.
There you go.
Put like a bucket underneath of him. Yeah. Anyway, different topic.
Getting visuals.
I don't.
Our conversations always tend to turn to shit. So.
All the time. Never fails.
Mm-hmm.
But besides the shitty, I just want to do another big thank you for everyone that came out, everyone that's been here, everyone that brings me boxes, everyone that just calls to say they love us. I love y'all. I do.
I know you left that night with a pile of boxes.
Yeah, I got home to a Jeep full of them.
Yeah, you can thank Grandma Ruth
I
for
don't
that.
think we need any more boxes. I said probably not.
At least not for now.
No, I think we're set.
Oh, good.
I mean, I finally got through that big pile under the canopy we pulled in there. Most of it got through it.
Yeah.
What little I saved that can go in the box.
Hmm.
That was basically, well, probably blankets and cleaning supplies. So a lot of them just like, bye.
Yeah, I mean,
Gotta get the smell out of them.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Not out of something like that. Not that fabric.
Mm-mm. Oof.
And I'm pretty tired of it. So,
I don't think anyone
did you
blames
see what I got on the couch?
A doll.
We don't see the couch.
It blends in with the couch. It blends in really well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that which makes it worse.
Well, you know, I lost probably 90% of my composition dolls in the fire. And it wasn't from the fire itself, it was from the water.
Yeah.
Because it literally disintegrated the composition. That just makes me sadder and sad. So if anybody doesn't want their dolls, especially their composition dolls, I will gladly take them off your hands because these kids still need a museum to look forward to.
Do we?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay. Are you sure?
We
Yeah,
got to
I'm
be able to
positive.
open our museum.
Yes, Chris, the pig made it. Didn't have no paint left on him, but he made it. And I'm glad he made it because Ashley got that for me.
You know, it's just crazy because like when I was going through stuff, the two big filing cabinets that were in the garage, which for those that aren't familiar with what where the fire was the worst, the garage is gone. And these two filing cabinets were packed with papers, notebooks, a lot of my schoolwork,
Journaling.
a a lot of my stories that I've written over the years, mainly through high school. And when I was going through that, there was actually a piece of pottery that I had made during my senior year of high school, and it looked like a stepping stone with a dragon in the center of it. And the stone actually survived, but all of the glaze, all of the color was gone. So it looks like just a plain piece again. But I kept it because I was just really shocked it survived. But like most like 99% of what was in those filing cabinets had to be thrown away because the paper was just charred. Yeah. And if it wasn't charred, it was soggy from water. So I have like a pile about this big of semi-charred papers that need to be scanned, and then the originals unfortunately aren't going to make it. So
well, you're lucky you had that left, because that was pretty much in the hottest place there was.
Well, and I was talking to Dad about that, and he said it's because the papers were so packed together that it makes them harder to burn. So I was honestly impressed that I could salvage what I could. Just
me too.
Yeah. Christine wants to know, how are the pups?
They are doing much better. They're back to being assholes. Since we got the fifth wheel and they actually have room to roam, they're so much happier. Higgins is taking over the couch. I don't know if you can see him. There he is. Because there's a window on each side and he can look out them both. And he thinks he's big man on the block. Princess is Princess. When she doesn't have enough attention, she makes sure she does something to get attention.
Fat and sassy as always.
She has learned that, or should I say she's taught Jeff, that if he doesn't bring her fresh food in when he comes home from work, she goes over to her food bowl and flips it over and looks at him. Oh, yeah. And I mean, looks right at him like, where's my food?
Mm-hmm. That's worse than Kimmy.
Uh-huh.
God.
I think Kimber is being channeled.
Maybe. But I think Conrad's right. That's worse than Kimmy.
That's complete, like, flip that over an attitude.
I'll pick on your girl, Lisa. Just watch me.
That sounds vaguely dirty.
Only to a dirty mind.
Everybody on the screen right now.
Right? Like nobody's exempt from that statement. Speaking of pups, Mr. Utah, my 7-month-old husky, had his big boy initiation today and was neutered.
It was no nut day.
It was no nut day. That is correct. And I think he must have been one of the very first ones in, because I had gotten a call at 11:30 this morning saying he was done and waking up. Although I did arrive at like 7:45 this morning and said, here you go. He clocked in at a whopping 55 pounds. He's already a lot bigger than we assumed he was going to be, which cost me more money, but he's worth it. And by the time I picked him up at 5:30, he was already super rambunctious. And the girls, bless them, they're so nice at my vet's office. They were like, oh, he's not bothering his incision or anything. You don't need to put the cone on him. I was like, no, we're putting it on before I leave. Please and thank you. And they're like, okay. I'm like, we're putting it on. And tomorrow he's going to get a onesie. So I ordered him a recovery suit for dogs that basically just covers everything so he can't get to
I think he needs a sunflower.
He's going to be so stinking cute. It would be cute to get him a sunflower, but that's additional money. And I already have the OG cone of shame. So that's what he's getting.
I almost ordered him the Jaws one.
Oh, that would have been adorable. Not going to lie. But he's getting a fox onesie, so it's cool. It's fine. Right now he's wrapped in a Naruto t-shirt, so he's rocking some anime for me. but he is snoozing in the kennel. So it's going to
I didn't
be.
even have to do anything with Rita. She never bothered her incision or nothing.
Most
Yeah,
of these guys didn't, but I had a couple that did.
huskies are.
I had one. I forget which one was that, Chelsea. She had to be sewn back up twice. Was that
Well,
Sheba or Kimmy?
I don't remember. Chris, I will provide pictures. I think I posted a couple on my Facebook around 6 o'clock with Yuta wearing the cone. He was looking out the window in the back seat of my truck. And disclaimer, when I took those pictures, I was parked in my driveway. I was not driving. Okay.
We shame that around here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Put your damn phones away when you're driving. Okay. Okay. That's my PSA.
Okie dokie. Finoki.
That's how I got rear-ended in December.
True story.
Well, that's not good.
Oh, and rear-ended the time before that on the highway.
Mm.
Well, that sucks.
I seen both of them looking down at their phones, and their phones were up in my view. I could see them above their dash. Even they didn't care.
See, they'd have to lock me up, because if I seen them and they hit me, I would be so mad.
Well, and that's the thing I noticed too. Since they implemented the $2,500 fine if you're caught texting and driving or using your phone and driving, I swear to God, people are more blatant about it. I see people driving and they're just like,
here in Ohio,
here
in Ohio, they're going through the intersection looking at their phones.
Yeah,
they don't care.
No,
they have it up and they're just da, 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 da.
That's how it is around here.
No, that's exactly
what is going on here.
It's
people
like
are in like this dystopia.
They must have more money than brains, is all I can think.
Well, it just drives me nuts. Like, how hard is it to just put your phone away while you're driving? If it's that important, pull over.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. Don't be an asshole.
Well, the thing is, especially with these newer vehicles, you don't need to be on that phone.
No, if you really have to be glued to your fucking phone, then program it in your stupid smart car and have it read everything to you.
And don't be one of those assholes that are like, oh no, I pay attention to the road even if I'm on my phone, because you're not.
The bullshit.
It only takes less than a second.
That's right.
You can sneeze and hit someone.
People hit people looking down at their radio every day.
Exactly.
Let alone like looking at a phone that's glued to their hand.
Mm-hmm. You just don't get it. I don't get it. That's one thing I like about having the flip phone. Even though it does have this screen on it, I just flip it shut and I put it in a cubby, and then I can't even touch it.
There you go.
Not hard. Not hard. And if someone calls me tough shit, you're going to wait till I get to my destination.
Sounds even better.
My phone goes in a holder, and then I can read it if I want to, but I usually listen to it over my speaker in my car.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, there are good aspects of technology. Why not utilize them and not be a dumbass?
Well, you said the magic word, dumbass. There's a lot of people that, well, they are stupid because they don't care. They don't care about others.
That's ignorance.
They don't care further than the end of their nose.
Yep. Right. And it's not a good thing anymore. It's getting worse and worse and worse.
Oh, bad. People are blinded by it anymore. It's scary.
And all I'm saying is, if one of you, if one of y'all take out somebody I love because your ass was on your phone, I will find you.
That I believe.
If I'm that person you take out, I will find you from beyond the grave.
Right, yes.
I will turn your world upside down.
Yeah, you thought you had it bad.
I'm going to make Poltergeist look like a piece of cake. Okay.
There you go. So what's your guys' take on the Conjuring House?
Oh, the Conjuring House drama. Oh my God. So it took me a while.
Did you see that old guy that posted yesterday? Yeah. I shared it.
Yes.
This is getting out of control.
So to back up, back in I think it was April, a bunch of the employees, including Cody and Satori, put in their resignation. They released a public letter saying, you know, they're stepping away. Things just weren't working. They were really good about it. And then, like a couple months later, the current owner just jumped on them and started sending threatening text messages and saying she was going to sue them and blah, 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 blah. And for somebody who's supposed to be professional, she released these statements on the Conjuring House Facebook page. And every other word in the statements was fuck. And she was so disgusting. It was just awful. And she's still causing grief. Like that gentleman, I think his name is Brian. He was like a manager for years, and she owes him like $9,000 in back pay. And she claims that the ghost of John Arnold, who died in the 1800s, told her that he was stealing, and therefore she's not going to pay him his money. And it's like, what?
Well, supposedly this ghost told her the whole staff was, and that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And she never filed paperwork for those people. They gave up full-time jobs that had good insurance. She lied.
And and allegedly, she is also a certified counselor and has a lawyer background. Like, she has the certifications to be a lawyer or something along those lines. And it's like, okay, if you are smart enough to have these kind of degrees, did you bump your head? Do you need help? Like, do you need to talk to somebody? Because that's not going to hold up in court, honey. Like, you can't look at a judge and say, oh, the ghost told me they were stealing, so he doesn't get his money. No, I'm pretty sure he's going to laugh at you, because you should know that's not going to work. Like, the devil made me do it is not going to be plausible in this case. Okay.
No. If she was smart, she'd put that place up for sale now, because she's screwed herself.
And it's just such a shame, because the house is so cool. Like, never mind the haunting aspect of it. It's just the history and everything. It's awesome, but she's totally degrading everything just because she has a piss poor attitude. And if she legitimately has some sort of problem or issue, I desperately hope she gets the help she deserves, because holy shit.
Absolutely.
It's sad. It's just so sad. And she's claiming that all these people are bullying her and treating the house wrong, but then you're turning around and calling everybody wicked and evil and bullying them right back. So it's like, can you get your story straight at least? Because I'm getting whiplash from all this stuff. It's just crazy. Like, she's getting...
All I know is I hope the best outcome for everyone that's been taken advantage of in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. And like, never mind the controversy, like with Cody and Satori. Yeah, there's been so much stuff with them since October. You know, they unfortunately have gotten the nickname the Toe Tappers. Whether or not it, you know, it's claimed to have been debunked what their process is. I've not seen it in person. I'm not gonna say whether or not I think it's real, because I just don't know. I haven't seen it in person to verify.
You know what? That's none of our business either. If that works for them and they are happy with what they're doing, then it needs to be left alone.
And, you know,
what part of supernatural, what part of paranormal really makes 100% common sense?
Well, I mean, I can understand the controversy behind if they're trying to claim that they're connecting with loved ones, but they're making it up, then yes, I can see where that can cause issues, because you don't want to lead people on, especially people that are hurting.
Right. I don't think they're doing that.
I would like to think they're not. So I'm just hands up, I'm out. But regardless of that situation, they don't deserve the kind of treatment that this woman is giving them.
Nobody does.
No.
She looks like that kind of person that would do that. I just looked up who she was, and oh my gosh. And
Jason Hawes gave all of those employees a platform platform last week. So it was like a 2.5 hour live stream, which you can still watch it on his Facebook or YouTube. And you can hear everything they've been going through for like over a year with this woman. Anything from the former owners who unfortunately were basically forced to sell to this woman back in 2022 because she placed a lien on the property, which I don't really understand how all of that works, but it sounded dirty from the get-go. It's so, I mean, if you have the time, watch it. It took me a while to get through all of it, but it's
Well,
just
that
insane.
we don't know the laws for that state either.
Right. But it's just insane what they went through. So I do think it's really good and really commendable of Jason Hawes to give them a platform to say, hey, this is our side of the story. You know, think what you will, but this is what happened. And then on top of that, that poor guy, Brian, who was let go because a dead guy accused him of stealing. So it's ridiculous.
She let him go because she couldn't pay him and she couldn't give him medical. Anybody can see that.
Yes, Candace, I absolutely did. I watched it today, and it's just so stupid. It's ridiculous. And the other thing, so I've been watching a lot of debunker channels on YouTube. There's the Side Eye Guy, Mythos Paranormal, Beardo. So I love those guys. I think they're great. And it's really nice to see the opposite side of the spectrum, to see their points of views. And a lot of it I actually agree with, because a lot of the paranormal channels you see on YouTube are full of shit. But we'll cover that in a little bit. But so the Side Eye Guy, he covered how much it costs to actually do a tour at the Conjuring House. And he went with 2 other YouTubers, and all said and done, without counting travel, airplane tickets, or, you know, outside lodging, just for a night to do their investigation cost them almost $3,000 a person.
What?
Yeah. So it was insane. It was absolutely insane. So she's jacked up the prices, and then on top of that, they made rules where you can only, like, if you're a channel and you're filming, you can only do 2 hours of live streaming. They wouldn't let them go around the grounds of the house. Part of the house they weren't even able to investigate because they turned it into a gift shop. Yeah. So there's just so much wrongness in this whole
There's so
situation.
much wrongness in the paranormal field now as it stands, with people just backstabbing one another.
It's awful.
It's like, seriously, it's like politics anymore. Screw all of you. Do you?
Yeah. And
you can't agree to disagree. Don't frickin' talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing why I honestly have been following the debunker sites more so than anything else, because they're more honest, number one, and number two, they're super calm and collected about everything. And all these people that are throwing fits and saying, oh, you're full of shit, you can't say that, I'm going to sue you, that tells me you're just full of shit and that you're trying to hide something. So all your credibility down the toilet. Sorry. So it's just ridiculous. If you cannot agree to disagree, then you need to get the fuck out, because that's just life. That's life as a whole. Not everybody is going to agree with everything. I'm friends with so many people. Even Conrad and I have different views on things. And guess what? We still love each other. Like, it's
That's
not
right.
hard.
Because you accept each other's opinion. You don't condemn somebody for that. You don't get in their face. You don't pick a fight. You just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's how this country was built.
Right. And this is, and we're not even talking, disclaimer again, this isn't about politics or anything like that. This is just life in general. Like, we have to agree to disagree sometimes. It's okay to have discussions with people that you don't have the same opinions with. Like, that's okay. That's the beauty of life. There's variety. There's different sides. Like, we should embrace that, not fight it, you know? I just drives me crazy.
It is pouring here, and I just realized I left a bunch of stuff on the tailgate.
Uh-oh. So Candace said she's referring to the owner of the Conjuring house. She's using the law, I'm going to sue you, as a fear tactic. If she can't afford to pay people, she can't afford a lawyer.
That's right.
Which is, like, I wouldn't be surprised if she starts, like, dialing it back a lot, because it's going to be a losing battle. Like, how are you going to, how could she possibly keep it all up when you have all of these people? Like, come on. Well, whatever.
She'll be her own worst enemy.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it.
She'll bury herself for sure.
Yep. And I think she already has.
But, you know, it just, and everything happening in the paranormal field as a whole, honestly, the last 6 months or so, it's made me debate whether or not I want to stay involved in it, because it's just so ridiculous. I'm so sick of it. Even I've removed so many people off my Facebook alone because I'm tired of it. And it's getting bad again, to the point where I need to remove even more. And it's people that I just adore, but it's like, if you can't understand that, you know, it's not about fighting, it's about embracing each other, then I don't need that shit. Nobody needs that shit. Like, come on. It's just so discouraging, but yeah.
Well, you got to remember where we started with this, and you need to go back to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And
how many years did we do our own thing? We didn't
Mhm.
involve anyone from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't involve anyone in the outside until probably the last 15 years. And
Yeah.
this is exactly why.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't take it to heart. You let it go in one ear and out the other, and you walk away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
It's
else
just,
it'll rip you apart.
it's just gross what's happening. And it's funny because, like, at first with the paranormal field growing, it was nice because people were embracing the weird, they were embracing the different, and it's like, finally, and our group of people is amazing. Like,
Yes,
kudos to our group of people, they're awesome. But, like, all of a sudden it hits the mainstream, and anytime something hits the mainstream, that's when the shit show starts. So it's like, I wish I could, like, kind of rewind it and have it not so mainstream, because that's when everything went to shit.
It's all a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Paranormal itself will peter out, just like anything else. And it'll go down to just being the basics, and then it'll hit again.
Yeah.
It always comes full circle.
That's the other thing that's so frustrating to me. And, like, I started doing this we as a team started doing this a few years ago, where we stopped trying to prove the existence, because you're not going to be able to prove anything to somebody who doesn't want to believe in it. So we veered our intentions to just helping people, which is really what it should be about in the first place. And, in the things that we've come across, a lot of the alleged paranormal activity can be explained and is not paranormal. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because you're still helping people understand what's going on in their lives. And that's what it should be about. But with the whole trending thing, and with people being able to become celebrities on YouTube, independently, you've got all these groups that are giving the paranormal a bad name again. So you've got all these big names. The ones that I can think of offhand are like Twin Paranormal. There's Sam and the fuck is their name? Sam and Cody or something like that. Like, people like that. Don't even get me started. And there's even a bigger group that I love them personally. I think they're super nice, but I think they've unfortunately fallen in the cracks of, we need to get viewers, and to get viewers, everything has to be a demon. So that's one of the reasons why I stopped watching Project Fear, because they started doing the same exact thing everybody else is doing. And I love those guys. Like, I think
Yep.
they're amazing.
It's all a ratings thing. And when you deal with TV, it's ratings.
Right.
That's why don't watch it. Just do your thing.
Exactly. So it's like, it's just
You
driving
can
me nuts.
love them for who they are, not what they do.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying any of these people are bad people. They're doing what they have to do to make a buck. I get it. If that's your livelihood, whatever. The only thing that sucks about it is the fact that it's giving the whole field such a bad rap again, and it just drives me nuts. You know, not everything is demonic, not everything's evil. Like, if there are demonic forces and evil entities, that may be 1%, maybe. Like, that's my rant.
The other thing I've noticed lately, and I've noticed it really intense, and maybe you guys have too, maybe you haven't. The last probably 3 months, maybe a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, leave Ed and Lorraine Warren alone. Let them rest in peace. Okay? There's so many people out there bashing them now, saying they were fake, saying they took, advantage of so many people. We don't know that. You don't know that.
And not to mention the fact they're
Let them
dead.
rest in peace.
They're dead. They cannot stand up for themselves.
That's right.
They can't say
It's
their
just
side of the story.
absolutely ridiculous. Leave
That's
them.
why more and more of those things came out, because they're not there to defend themselves.
There you go.
Like, let bygones be bygones. They're gone. Okay.
Yeah. If it was real, it would have came out when they were alive.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And in their era, we weren't really around. We don't know. I've read their books. I find them extremely interesting.
I mean, there are things.
If you're basing your thoughts on those movies, don't do it.
No, because the movies, and Lorraine was even asked, because it's known that 99% of the first Conjuring movie is fiction. Like, there's only like a very small part of that movie that's true, and honestly, the biggest part of that movie that's true is the name of the family. Like, 99% of it's shit, but it's a great movie. I love the movie. Don't get me wrong, but it's not true. It's fiction. It's Hollywood. God, I went on this rant and I can't remember what the point I was trying to get.
Candace, I agree. We have so many great paranormal friends.
So regardless
for the world
of anything that people have to say about them, they are still the founding, like almost the founding mother and father of modern day paranormal investigation.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, I don't consider them the founders, but I do consider them leaders into getting it out there, because before Ed and Lorraine was Hans Holzer, which people tend to forget about. He's more like the grandfather of the paranormal, because he wrote so many books on the paranormal, ghosts, witchcraft, all this stuff. But people tend to forget about him, because when the Warrens came out, they brought it out to the media. They brought it to the public's attention.
The Warrens made sure they were public.
Yes. So then Hans Holzer kind of got swept under the rug, but in my opinion, he's kind of more of the founder of, bringing it out. Demons
are above my pay grade too. Fortunately, they're few and far between, and we've only had 2 experiences that we actually sought out priests for, because we weren't going there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not saying that these cases were like set in stone demonic, but the things that they were reporting and wanted help with, we honestly felt they needed somebody with more experience. Absolutely. So that's where networking comes in handy, and we still were able to get somebody that could step in and help them. So it's not like we left them high and dry, but we had to we admit it. Yeah, we're not zacking it up. Absolutely not. But we had to decide as a team, like, we want to help these people, but we're going to do that by providing somebody that can actually help them, somebody that has experience, because there are just some things that you don't want to throw yourself at, especially if you don't know what you're doing. And that's okay. It's okay to admit.
Absolutely.
It's okay to admit that you are uncomfortable with something, or you would rather get somebody with more experience. If I was in that position, that would make me a lot happier, rather than somebody being like, "Oh, well, I've never done this before, but let's just see what happens." I'd be like, "No."
Let's
I've,
not.
Like,
I
do you
mean,
have
I've even had people message my business page, KC Metaphysics, with pictures and testimonial of what is happening. And I'm like, that's above my pay grade. Where are you? I can get you resources on what you need to do next.
There you go.
Thankfully, they've been local to where I'm familiar with, to be able to help them a lot quicker, too, because some of that stuff is just not fun to see. It's creepy when you get in your inbox and you're not expecting it, and there's just a picture from a baby monitor security camera from the house, and it's like, oh yeah, just one glance of that, I'm telling you, this is above
Yep,
me.
that's my day right there.
Yeah, it's just there are things out there. I mean, we've experienced things that terrified us for a long time until we gained more experience. So like,
one of my first
Perfect,
paranormal
Chelsea.
experiences was with something of that sort, and that'll stay with me for the rest of my life.
mm-hmm.
I'll remember that forever.
Yep. And that's why we do what we do, because there was a point in our lives where it terrified us and we needed answers, and then we
And I wasn't going to let it terrify me, and that's one of the ways you don't let it terrify you. You just jump in.
You learn, you grow, you figure it out. And that's what it's about. And that's when we turned and said, okay, so I went through this crazy shit, so other people have to be going through this too. So why not, give them some hope and let them know they're not losing their minds.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. That's how it should be. It should not be about.
Things won't change with us.
No. Absolutely not. There's
other groups like us where they're saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was just about to say, I think there's a big difference between the ones in the light and then the ones like us that are the real basis of the paranormal community.
Yes.
And I know realistically that there are a lot of groups still that are like, that do what we do and follow what's true and do their best to help people and aren't in it to make a dime,
They're not in it doing it.
Correct. So I know that they're out there, but it's just with all the shit that you see in the media and it's always in your face, it can be discouraging, but I do remind myself there are a lot of good people still. It's just like with anything, there are still good people. There are still legitimate, true people and not the bullshitters, All right. Candace says, I've been investigating for 25 years next month. Only had one case that was a possible demon. I turned them over to the archdiocese. And that's a prime example. Yes, there are bad things out there, but they're so few and far between. So few and far between. And the one thing that just also drives me nuts is you see these places like the Conjuring House. I've seen recently the McIntyre Villa, places that should not be claimed to have demonic entities because they don't.
Exactly.
And to me,
like
that
Candace said, angels can breed per folklore, demons cannot.
Yeah, and it just
does it all pretty much.
It puts a sour taste in my mouth because not only are you making people think that there are demons everywhere, you're slandering these beautiful locations and you're ruining it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't need every single Tom, Dick, and Harry to think that there's a demon in the house next door. No, that's not how that works.
See, though, this shows you what journalism, what TV, what social media is doing to people's minds. They're rotting.
Oh, 100%.
They got to be followers. They can't think on their own anymore. People need to think.
Not only think, but do your homework, do your research.
Yes.
Look beyond what you're seeing. If you want to fact check something, you can't just go by the first thing that comes up on Google, because 9 times out of 10, especially if it's paranormal based, the things that are going to pop up on Google are from other paranormal groups, and you can't always take what they say. You need to find the original data on it. You know, maybe crack open an actual book at a library and not go by the internet database. You know, you have to do some work in order to find the truth. It might be boring. It might be
hard
tedious.
for people nowadays, especially when they hear that 4-letter word.
Work.
Yeah.
Work.
I thought you meant book.
You gotta buckle down if you really want to figure it out. And if you're not willing to take the time, or if you're just in it for the entertainment, like, then don't go around saying, oh, this is what I learned, so it must be true. No, just keep it to yourself. Like,
Or I read it on Facebook. Give me a break.
Just well, Zach Bacon said that it was evil, so I know that it's evil for sure. No. Like, yes, while that may be Zach's opinion, that doesn't necessarily mean that it stands. You want to find out for yourself. You want to do your homework. You want to do your research. You know, he is entitled to his opinion just as everyone else is, but you have to keep in mind that opinions are not always fact.
Also, like, if everybody is being fed all this stuff and being told that these places are negative or have something negative, they're going to eventually create something not demonic, but parallel to being bad, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. You're gonna, so it's just like, say, for example, a home where a family is constantly fighting. You've got all that negative energy that's floating around, and that's going to build up. And when people go in there, you're going to feel that. So it's no different than if somebody goes into a location and they get thousands of people to believe that that place is evil. The same thing's going to happen. It's everyone's going to feel that negative energy because it's being associated with it, you know?
Exactly.
Oh, Mitchell, I'll flip you off again.
Candace says, I've never made money investigating cases ever. I will say I have paid out a lot more cash. It's not a cheap hobby. No, it is not.
Amen. That's the truth.
But the thing about it
never
is,
charged either.
no,
And we
never.
will.
And when we do public investigations, it's places like, you know, Waverly Hills, Stimson Hospital. They charge money to do the investigations because they're using that money to preserve the location, and that's great. That. Yeah, I'm more than happy to be like, all right, shut up and take my money. Let's do this, like, because they're using it to preserve the history and to.
Yeah, if you say Mansfield, she's there.
Oh, hell yeah! Oh, I love that place so much.
Which, by the way, we will be back next year.
I can't wait.
That's a good place to go.
I love it there.
You sure can thank Hollywood, Candace.
Hollywood is such a dangerous thing. Like, and you know, I get it. Like, I kind of brought up a little bit earlier. If you're watching those paranormal YouTube shows strictly for entertainment, just like watching a horror movie, that's fine. You are so allowed to enjoy it. If that is what gets your groove, you know what? I support that. As long as you're not buying it and taking it as 100% fact, that's where the issue lies.
And so many people do. I mean, it's like old school soap operas on TV. Do you know how many people really thought those were real?
That's awful.
I mean, oh my God.
Well, look at what happened. Was it in the 40s or the 50s or something? The War of the Worlds broadcast on the radio. Everybody
There you
thought that
go.
was, and it caused pandemonium, and it was just a skit. No different. No, just like the look at the Blair Witch Project when that movie came out.
That was stupid.
That poor town where that supposedly took place hates that movie because all these people come in going through the woods and they're so disrespectful to the locations.
And it was totally fake.
Totally fake.
Totally
and
fake.
But everyone wants to believe that it's real. And that's
I remember when that came out and I was still, Fenton Cinema was still open.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked out to use the restroom and I came back and there were two girls standing outside the theater hysterically crying because it freaked them out so bad. And I looked at them and I said, this is so unreal. Why are you believing any of this? Oh, it's totally real. I'm like, no, it's not. Do your homework.
Mm-hmm.
It just blows my mind.
Now, from a cinematic aspect, the people that made that movie were fucking geniuses because they fooled thousands of people into thinking it was real, and that was the objective. So kudos to them. They did what they set out to do, but unfortunately, because people are so gullible and naive and will believe everything they see on TV, it just had some negative repercussions.
People want to live and be dumb. I guess that's on them.
But it's like, even with my favorite show in the whole widest world, Supernatural, I've had so many people ask me that, they'll watch the show. They're not really into the paranormal, but they'll watch it and they'll be like, oh my God, that can really happen. I'm like, whoa, slow your roll. No, it can't. I'm like, there is awesome myths and folklore that are covered in Supernatural. But you can't load a gun with salt rounds and go out hunting demons and ghosts. Okay, no, back up. That's no.
Well,
don't.
Maybe you can.
There is, I don't know his name, but there is a YouTuber that uses a bug assault gun. The fly shooting gun that shoots salt.
I have one.
He uses that allegedly to ward off the ghosts during his investigation.
For God's sakes.
And the way he made it like a ghost hunting gun is he took a permanent marker and drew a cross on the side of it. Yeah. And people watch it and eat it right up.
You know what? Mentality's really going downhill.
All I can think about is Idiocracy anymore. The movie.
Oh, yeah. If any movie's coming true, it's probably that one.
I already have my Crocs, so I got my feet in the door.
No. Candace says lately she's been seeing more PK hauntings.
I'm having a brain fart. What is a PK haunting? I'm tired. I don't know. I have a feeling I'm going to agree with it. But
Candace, you'll have to enlighten Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm happy. Do you know what it is?
It's a PK haunting.
So no, you don't.
So you don't.
All right, we're all but I'm not into it. So, did I tell you I lost all my ghost equipment too in the fire?
Oh,
all of it. It hit me the other day. Do you know where it was?
Where?
In my Jeep.
That's what I wondered. If it was in the Jeep.
Both bags.
Damn it. Did you lose the XLS too?
No, I have that.
Oh, well, that's cool.
And it's still working, I think. I'm going to actually bring it up to you so you have it with your stuff.
Well, I've been watching videos. So like the debunkers that I've been watching, they'll do videos on the paranormal equipment. And I actually really enjoy those videos because they tell you how to actually properly use the stuff. So like with the XLS, you know how everyone always uses it in motion, like they're moving with it, but that's what causes inaccurate readings.
That's right.
the actual way to use an XLS is to actually have it in one place. Because
Yes.
if you think about it, because it's originally a Kinect from the Xbox, that was not moving. I mean, it would adjust itself, but it was in one place. So if you're constantly moving, it cannot give you an accurate reading. So you need to actually set it up just like a still camera in order to attempt to get an accurate reading. The other thing is, yes, while it's looking for people, it's going to pick up anything that minutely resembles a human type shape. So it's picked up things at like tile grout. Like if there's a certain pattern in the tile, it's going to read that as a person or a vacuum cleaner or a pattern on a door. So you can't take every single thing as a human entity because it's not. So that's why it's really important to keep it still. So that's why I really like watching these videos, because I feel like I'm learning I am learning things that I never really realized, and it's making me a better investigator, which in turn can help me educate other people and help them better. So
That's right.
I love it.
I just know I won't be getting any more equipment anytime soon, especially what I had in there. It's like, no.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll make
That
do.
was years worth of collection, years and years. And it's like, no.
As long as we have a digital recorder and our common sense, as Jason Hawes always says, those are the two most important things to use on a paranormal investigation. Well, actually,
You tell me, what would I end up always using?
you.
That and one other thing.
Camera?
How do I like to talk to them?
Oh, through the K2 meter. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But and it's because what he always says is the best thing you can take into investigation, aside from like a digital recorder or like a video camera, is your common sense, and use your eyes and your ears. Those are the best equipment you can use on an investigation. And he's right. You don't need to have all the fancy stuff, and you do have to be careful with the kind of stuff that you're buying, because not all of it is going to give you factual readings. Not all of it is going to give you accurate things. So you have to really do your homework on that too. I love the equipment that I use, but I still scrutinize everything that comes up, especially if it's through like the spirit box or something. You know, you have to really make sure it's not just a blip from the scanning, that it's actually something coming through. And there have been times where people have mistaken just a word coming through a radio station and using that as evidence. But we've also experienced full-on sentences that did not sound like the radio station. So I do feel like it's a credible piece of equipment, but can it give you false readings?
This one we used at Dawn's, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep. The spirit box.
And the things we came out that night with were, oh my God.
Awesome. They're super spot on. Yeah. And that's why that's why I feel like it can be a credible piece of equipment. You just have to really scrutinize what's coming through it, you know. Candace says people with gifts who don't know they have them, the energy of their gifts come out as a haunting. They can have the following.
Like a kinetic is what it's called.
Health decline, etc. You are correct, Candace.
Thank you for explaining that, Candace.
Yes. And you know that I have a very good example of that. So we did a paranormal investigation at my house when I first bought this place a couple years ago now. And I actually set off the EMF meter. So that portion of the investigation, it was me. And people can emit things like that. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. But I was like, holy shit, that's me making that go off. Oh, damn. I thought it was funny. Oh, and then another thing you have to keep in mind too, since we're on the topic of equipment, we played a small trick on Mom at the Stimson, not this last investigation, but the time before that. your walkie-talkies will make your REM pods go off.
Oh, yes, they will.
We were sitting outside the door and we kept hitting the walkie-talkie button and it would make the REM pod go off. And Mom was like, the REM pod's going off.
It's just going crazy in here.
So we finally went in and we're like, sorry, Mom, it was us. She's like, you got the call.
They're all assholes.
We get it from you.
It's as bad as you guys putting Jordan showing in the body in the shower.
Oh, God, that was hilarious.
You're awful, both of you. I don't know who you get that from.
My favorite piece of equipment, which is a very debatable one for a lot of people, is dowsing rods.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And, you know, I honestly feel they can be used for those intents and purposes because, I mean, look at how people can use them to actually be drawn to water. So I feel like they do work, but I also feel like a lot of people are not using them correctly, or they're turning them themselves because they want that answer. I think and it's no different than with using a pendulum because, you know, our bodies are constantly moving and you have to keep that in mind. So just you holding that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a spirit controlling that, because your wrist is actually moving. So you may be influencing that equipment and you have to keep that in mind.
And I think that's why actually with the pendulum as well, because I really like the pendulum. I think that's why I like those, because you have to be so aware of what you're doing with that.
You got to be in tune with that. Yeah.
And you have to be in control of your energy and know what energy is and what it can do, and that you can manipulate it. So that way you're not manipulating it during those situations.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like if you ask a question out loud and you're like, oh God, please be yes, please be yes. And what do you know? All of a sudden it says yes. And you're like, oh, right. Yeah, that's because
you unintentionally did that.
Exactly. So you got to be really careful.
I don't like to use pendulums for my own purposes. I'll use them for other people because of that. Also, it's a good way to get answers from your higher self, though, as well.
Yeah, true story. Candace says, I believe with all the universe lining up, the Milky Way included, people are having ascensions in their gifts. I have to agree.
I agree.
Yes.
I 100% agree.
Definitely.
Well, guys, we actually killed an hour.
Yeah, we did. That went so fast.
A little over, actually.
So we're gonna wrap it up for the night. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our show. Do we know what next week is?
Yeah, it's your friend.
Which one?
From Canada.
Canada.
Is it another supernatural show?
No.
Bob and Tina?
No.
It's not Bob and Tina? They're the only ones from Canada I know.
No, you know someone else.
She's going to kick herself once she realizes it.
Probably. Who are we having on next week?
Well, she's a lot like you. Very artistic.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Are you talking about Casey?
Yes.
Mom, she's from New York, not Canada.
Oh, New York, Canada. Same thing.
But excellent. I love Casey. That's
right across the water.
Oh, I love it. All right. So tune in next week. We're going to have Casey Coleman on with us. She's amazing. I love her.
She's a beautiful soul.
Spirit of mine. So make sure you tune in for that. And if you haven't already, please, please, please go to the Tipsy and Witchy YouTube channel and subscribe. And then make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications. And then you can follow us on Facebook as well if you don't already. But in the meantime, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching as always, and we'll catch you next time. So have a great rest of your week and stay spooky.
We love you all.
Bye.